Inside the Empire, Valentino's $1.5 billion life of pugs, palaces, and perfection. If you want to hear more details, subscribe to my channel.
Valentino Garavani, the legendary Italian designer often called the last emperor of fashion, lived a life defined by unapologetic opulence, a signature shade of red, and a partnership that became a cornerstone of the industry. He passed away peacefully at his home in Rome on January 19, 2026. At the age of 93, the last emperor lifestyle Valentino didn't just design for the jet set. He was its undisputed leader. The signature red, his obsession with Valentino red, a specific mix of 100% magenta, 100% yellow, and 10% black, began as a teenager after he saw a woman in a red dress at the Barcelona Opera, the Pug Entourage. He was famous for his 6 pugs, most with names starting with Mary, Maud, Milton, Monty, Molly, and Margot. They traveled with him everywhere, including on his private jet and his 152-foot super yacht, the TM Blue One, estate and wealth. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $1.5 billion. This fortune includes a global real estate portfolio, Château de Wideville, a 17th-century castle outside Paris once owned by Louis XIV's mistress, the Appian Way Villa, his main residence in Rome, Chalet Gifferhorn, a retreat in Gstaad, Switzerland. Additional homes, properties in London and Manhattan. The great love. Giancarlo Giamattia's most significant relationship was with Giancarlo Giametti, whom he met at a cafe in Rome in 1960. The dynamic. While Valentino was the creative genius, Giametti was the business mastermind who turned the brand into a global empire. Evolution. They were romantic partners for about 12 years before the relationship transitioned into a lifelong, sublime friendship and business partnership that lasted over 60 years. Later life. At the time of his death, Valentino was in a long-term relationship with Bruce Hoeksema, a former model for the brand. Iconic career and Valentino's breakthrough came in 1962 in Florence. He became the go-to designer for the world's most famous women, known collectively as Val's Gals. Jackie Kennedy, perhaps his most famous client. He designed her 1968 wedding dress for her marriage to Aristotle Onassis. Elizabeth Taylor, she famously wore a Valentino white couture column for the premiere of Spartacus. Julia Roberts, her vintage 1992 black and white Valentino dress for the 2001 Oscars is considered one of the most iconic red carpet moments in history. Anne Hathaway, Valentino often referred to her as his daughter and designed her custom pink-tinged wedding dress in 2012. The business exit in 1998. Valentino and Giametti sold the company for $300 million to the HDP Group. Valentino remained as creative director until his retirement in 2008, concluding with a legendary 45th anniversary gala in Rome that cost a reported $10 million. The brand is currently owned by the Qatari-backed investment vehicle Mehula for Investments. He remained a front-row fixture at his own shows until his final years, always embodying the elegance he spent his life creating. Who inherits the empire? Giancarlo Giametti, the central figure. As Valentino's lifelong business and former romantic partner, Giametti is the sole steward of the private trusts that hold the bulk of Valentino's wealth. Giametti will oversee the distribution and preservation of the fortune. Bruce Hoeksema, Valentino's long-term partner since 1982, is expected to be a primary beneficiary regarding personal assets and living arrangements. The extended family, Valentino's close-knit circle, often called his tribe, likely includes Brazilian assistant Carlos Souza and his nephew Oscar Garavani. The guardians, legal and financial management of the estate is reportedly handled by 2 key professionals, Dutch Leo Ronald Figen and Italian engineer Piero Villani, who act as the guardians of the complex structure of foreign companies and trusts. What exactly is included? Because the Valentino fashion house was sold in 1998, the inheritance centers on personal assets rather than company control. Real estate, the Château de Wideville near Paris, a grand villa on Rome's Appian Way, and luxury homes in London, Manhattan, and Gstaad. Art collection, priceless works by Picasso, Andy Warhol, and Basquiat. The yacht, the 152-foot superyacht TM Blue One, currently valued at roughly 12.4 million euros.
The foundation, a significant portion of his wealth is dedicated to the Valentino Garavani Foundation to preserve his archives and support philanthropic efforts.